Hello everyone, my name is Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd... No!
Sorry! Don't hate me.
We are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. And this is something different that we're doing.
Kind of it.
This is was actually like my idea, and then I kind of ran off and left it, and then Amber brought it back up tonight. Episode by episode recaps of the first...
Sorry. Look, I don't want to hear it. You ruined a horrible review messing with the legacy token thing. I don't want to hear it. Anyway,
we're going to live stream one at a time over the next few weeks. Reviews, recaps of the first 2 seasons worth of episodes of Rick and Morty. And it's kind of weird giving it our thoughts after season 3's over.
Yeah.
And we've pretty much seen... I've seen all of them.
I've seen most of them.
You've seen all but maybe
2 or
3, maybe.
Yeah.
We are watching the
chat. I had seen this one, but it had been so long. It was a nice refresher.
Look at what Devasso said. No, we are going to carry on and just kind of chit-chat and stuff during this review. It's no big thing.
Oh, cool.
That is great.
Yeah.
You can also say Hickson, because that's the town that our sponsor's in.
Yep. And then we technically live in East Ridge, so.
Yes.
Hey.
But we are Chattanooga's biggest nerd haven.
Yay.
But Rick and Morty, episode 1, which is, it actually doesn't have
It's called Pilot.
Yeah, it's actually called Pilot, which you say that a lot. The first
episode is usually called Pilot.
Interestingly enough, the very first episode of The X-Files was called Pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what Pilot was at the time.
Right.
And I thought that the episode was called Pilot because it had something to do with like a military pilot or something.
Yeah.
But it had absolutely nothing to do with that. So that's interesting little thing. Maybe if we do one of those UNN scavenger hunts one day, we can maybe, I don't know.
No.
We're planning on it eventually.
Were going somewhere with that, and all of a sudden you were just like, I don't know.
But the first episode, it's neat, like we talked earlier, looking at the current episodes and then looking back at episode 1, and it's not as pronounced, but it's kind of like we were talking about Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
You look at episodes now, they're all like computer done and everything, and then you go back and you could tell like they were more hand drawn, they were rougher looking.
Yes.
The sound wasn't as good. It's almost like that here, but it still looks really good.
Yeah, it still looks really good.
Like some of the backgrounds and stuff are kind of rough, not as smooth, not as
detailed.
Yeah, not as detailed.
I mean, it's a pilot episode, first episode. It's going to be like that. And who knows, when we watch the second episode, it might be better from there. I don't know why that's not turned off.
Silence. Please silence your phones before the film starts.
I try to, and I just ain't got it together. So, I don't know.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It's neat looking back. There's been a ton of character development over 3 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy seeing the kind of the introduction to Beth and Jerry's marriage. Kind of seeing Rick begin to sink his claws into the family unit.
Mm-hmm.
You really didn't see Summer at all, hardly, except for the one scene at the dinner table, and then one scene where she walked up on the dude who was frozen. There was zero.
And then, of course, she was grieving. It showed pictures, tiny clips of her grieving over the dude.
Yeah.
But
so it basically
Rick froze him.
So, it showed her as like grieving and boy crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Was basically how it was. And I like the bully scene where the guy comes up to Morty with a switchblade and basically threatens him, and Morty's like, man, I don't know why you got that knife. You pretty much have things handled already without it.
And he's like, "You telling me how to bully?"
I mean, I can kind of, it's true though.
It was very true.
Why does the dude even have it? I mean, he's pretty well already got it going on.
And then what's funny is like you noticed in season 3 like Morty's anxiety had died down a lot. And
He'd almost become more aggressive.
Yeah, because he was just so freaking tired of his grandpa's shit. But in episode 1, like you knew his anxiety was there, but you didn't know how bad it was.
He actually mentions it.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Straight up mentions it. They straight up mention about him being special.
Yeah, they actually say out loud that he has a learning disability. And they say it in front of him because things.
And then he was like, "Wow, really?" And he really just didn't know. But that's how you know he legitimately does have one. So he didn't have a clue. He just thought it was normal.
One little Easter egg that I'm sure they probably try to act like what didn't happen. The creators over the past year or two basically said during an interview that they never want to do time travel because once they do time travel,
yes, legacy tokens are a thing. So.
Yes, legacy tokens are working, and I haven't decided on an exact number yet. That's probably something I'll do over the next 24 hours. Legacy tokens will be able to be used to buy extra chances for our prizes.
Cool.
So, but it's not going to be like, 1 token per chance. It's going to be,
no.
It's going to be probably something like 1,000 for an extra chance or something like that. Because, we want to reward, but we don't want to be just tossing piles of chances to people.
Yeah, because that's not fair.
I'd be happy with somebody being able to double or triple their chances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what I was talking about time travel, they don't want to do time travel because they figure it just completely gives you an out. Like somebody dies, time travel. Like Family Guy, Brian died, time travel fixed it.
Yeah.
Time travel can fix anything.
It really can.
Now,
in most cases.
During this first episode, I know a lot of their stuff was just kind of background fodder, nothing major or anything. But at the last scene where Morty, the mega seeds that he had up his butt, dissolved and then he kind of went loopy and fell to the ground and was twitching around and stuff. In the background, while Rick is talking to him, there is a box up on the shelf that says time travel stuff.
Well, I mean, okay, just because that they said they wouldn't do that doesn't mean that Rick doesn't have the means to do it.
Or does it mean that he wasn't... Maybe that's time travel stuff. He's working on time travel, but he hasn't figured it out.
Yeah.
Kind of like, in the season 3 premiere, he was working on a portal gun and he couldn't figure it out. And then it took another Rick from another dimension to come in and show him.
So, that brings the question, do you think there's a Rick in another dimension that knows how to do time travel?
Ooh. Yeah, because time travel would only affect
that universe.
That dimension.
Yes.
Maybe that's how... Oh my God. Maybe that's how, the Rick that fixed the Cronenberg deal where the world ended.
Yes.
Maybe that's how that Rick fixed it. And maybe their time travel device blew apart. Maybe that's what they were working on.
Maybe it was.
That exploded?
Yeah.
Maybe they had fixed it and they had to repair it or something. And then when it blew up, it killed them.
Damn it. Oh my God.
That is Lonnie's...
That's a nice fan theory.
Holy crap. Devasso, big loss.
Oh, he was being sarcastic, honey. He did one.
Oh. I wasn't even paying attention. Hey, Juba. But,
Speaking of Juba.
Yeah. But holy crap, I mean, seriously, that's a really interesting theory. And I'm sure we'll talk about it some more during the Rick Potion number 9 review.
I come out with, good stuff sometimes.
That was, that's something to consider.
It is. Especially since you pointed out that they had the box of time travel stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say that
Holy crap. I don't know.
there's not one in another.
So, this is the first episode where we actually get to see the Galactic Federation. We get to see all the bugs, you know, the praying mantis looking things that run everything. We get to see, those things actually look like, what's the Pokemon? The big praying mantis looking one that flies around. It starts off as not a Kakuna.
I know what you're talking about.
The one that does harden.
But I can't. Yeah.
Caterpie.
Caterpie. But
no, Caterpie turns into a Butterfree.
But that's not it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd have to pull up my Pokemon Go app. It's been a while since I've done that.
Yes.
But yeah, this episode, it's really neat to look back and see some of the stuff because, I mean, Rick and Morty has gone a long freaking way. And also, this is one of the few episodes that takes place in their original universe.
Right.
This episode shows the world that is now a post-apocalyptic wasteland with mutant monsters, and then the original Smith family, minus Rick and Morty, still living there.
Right.
So, that's kind of weird, knowing that this world pretty much ends. Ugh.
That is weird.
Yeah, like, I don't even know what to think about that. That is kind of strange. But, yeah, I mean, this episode does a good job at laying the groundwork. This is one of few episodes that the first episode is one of those great knock it out of the park.
It was, because it establishes everything right off the bat.
And it entertains you at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we always talk about the Orville. You know, the Orville established everything, but it was like, you know, maybe like a 7.5, 8 episode. Y'all will give it a chance, you know, going down the road. But this one is excellent, like right off the bat. I'm trying to find that dang thing.
I see that.
What is that? It's called a scyther or something. Right?
I don't know.
Right? Tell me.
I don't know.
Work with me here. Remember, everybody, legacy tokens are a thing right now. Yeah, it is called a scyther.
Okay, cool. It is. Alright. But anyway.
Oh my god, you can evolve it again.
But, I mean, is it tradition to tear gas children in Eastridge, or is it just Lonnie?
Holy God.
It's just Lonnie.
That's just me. That was like one comment that I said that everybody remembers me for now. That is proof that the internet will not let some things die.
Yeah.
Like 5 years from now. You're that guy that said the thing about the tear gas. Yeah. Kinda.
Sorta.
Come here, Juba. That is...
Oh, look, Juba.
That is my kitty cat.
We rarely get her on camera.
Yay! Logan laid in my lap today during our Skyrim stream, which we didn't stream nearly enough. Let me hug you.
She said put me down. Let her go.
Oh, okay. I love you. Go ahead and get down. Oh, God. She's looking at me like I did something wrong.
Yeah, like it was your fault.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway.
That's about as far as we can go with this one. Anything else you want to talk about, the episode? I mean, we didn't really even cover the main plot of it. I mean, it had like a couple of different plots, you know.
I mean, the main plot really wasn't...
They were going to get seeds from another dimension. Mm-hmm.
And he used the portal gun to get the... Because Morty broke his legs because he fell off the cliff. Because Rick failed to tell him to turn on his shoes before he just started walking. I mean, really, the main plot wasn't important because all it did was establish that his grandfather's a jerk, he's a drunk, and he doesn't really give a shit as long as he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, that's plain and simple what it established.
Now, This is like really my final kind of sort of fan theory for the night. We see how much Morty has changed from episode 1 to the end of season 3. From the beginning of season 4 to the end of season 6, could we see this Morty become almost evil Morty?
I don't know, maybe.
Could you see that progression?
Yeah.
He's on his way to it. Because they basically mentioned Rick, I don't think a Morty has ever become evil Morty on his own. It's always been because Rick has pushed him in that direction.
And, I mean, look at him now. He's the way he is now because of Rick.
Yeah.
So.
He's a lot more self-confident.
Mm-hmm.
He runs, he does a lot more. And, he actually almost, I don't want to say he's smart, but he has more common sense.
Yes, he's gained more common sense.
Yeah, and like, I want to say experience.
Because he's had to be responsible because Rick's not. And he's had to really learn to be responsible for himself and Rick because Rick's really not accountable. He's going on these adventures with Morty, but he's really not the adult in the situation.
If you think about, oh my God, the Morty's Mindbenders episode, where they had the failsafe, the thing that fixed everything. They each had a helmet. Could Morty somehow end up with the Rick helmet and tweak it to where it just gives him Rick's intelligence and become smart enough to do all the evil stuff?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because, evil Morty has intelligence.
Yeah.
Like, he's a smarter Morty. So, how did that happen? Like, it had to have been artificial. You can't just learn everything.
Right.
And I would say...
Especially if you're special needs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I would think that something like that, we've already established that the technology exists now.
Yeah.
Because if Rick is able to go from not knowing anything about anything to himself again, there's got to be a way to tweak that. Maybe a Rick who is unhappy with everything gave Morty an intelligence helmet or something.
True. Like maybe he actually succeeded in killing himself and left him an intelligence helmet.
Okay. We'll continue more on this later.
I'm going to quit talking. I keep blowing your mind.
Thanks for coming in, Davaso. He was like our lone viewer tonight.
He is. Well, we had more viewers. They just didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really don't know what else we're going to do tonight, if anything. But thanks for coming on.
Another episode? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know about doing 2 of these in a night.
Well, they're short episodes. We can knock them out.
That's very true, but I don't want to just knock them out. These things we
won't just knock them out because tomorrow night we're gonna do You and In Live anyway.
Yes.
So, and the next night will probably be Skyrim.
Oh my God.
So, a second episode ain't gonna kill us tonight.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Not promising.
All right. Anyway, we rate this episode
8.
an 8.
It was enough to get me thoroughly invested into the series. I remember, because it wasn't that long ago. It was about a year and a half ago.
See, I didn't watch them all in order when I first started watching it, so I didn't actually see this episode till probably like after my 3rd or 4th time watching it.
Yeah.
But
I sat down
to realize it's the pilot, like I give it probably an 8, just because it laid the storyline solid.
Yeah. God, Jubilee's looking at us. Not really. Then when I say it, she turns away. All right. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. We will be doing some more of these maybe tonight. Maybe. But anyway, this has been the Rick and Morty pilot live recap on Untitled Nerd Network. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, coming to you live, courtesy of Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. Huh?
Infinity Flux.
Yes.
Yes. Don't look at that. It's creepy.
And anyway, thanks for watching. Watch out for more.
Bye, Davaso.